Welcome back to the channel, y'all. As I told y'all last time, I'm going to build a huge pond right here. Basically, it's a DIY pond. We're building it ourselves from scratch. Pretty much using wooden pallets. And over here we have a couple pieces of wood, scrap wood, that we're going to use to kind of brace everything together into one. So this is for people that want to do it themselves, don't want to hire anyone or pay thousands of dollars to build their own pond. It is very cheap. I got all these pieces of wood for free. So you can get this all for free just by looking online, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Next Door. And a lot of people give these stuff out for free because they don't want to have to pay for someone to come pick it up and dump it. So basically, so far, I have these three pieces right here. Attached to each other. I pretty much have screws on both sides, square into this. We're going to have three pallets going this way, three pallets going this way, and then one at each end. I'm also going to put a tarp on the bottom so nothing pops or pokes or a hole into our pond. And then I'm going to put the liner on the inside, stapling it to the wooden pallet on the top, and cutting off any of the excess tarp or liner. And then we're going to build our customized filtration system. It's going to pretty much use, probably going to do 3, maybe 4 5-gallon buckets with lids on them. We're going to drill holes in them. And we're going to have different stage filtration. And we're going to have a pump, of course, that's going to pump all the water from inside the pond into our filtration system, which is going to be back here. And then it's going to drop back down into the pond. So what we're going to go ahead and do next is we're going to go ahead and add our next pallet, which is going to go right here, like that. And then we're going to take a piece of wood and we're going to pretty much attach it like that and use that kind of like a brace to hold the two pallets together. We're going to do one here, one down there, and that's what we're pretty much going to use. Or we could even put it on top, but we're probably going to go ahead and do it on the side like that. I have all my screws right here, and my drill. So pretty much total that I spent to do this pond so far is just these. These are like $5. So far our total cost for building this exact pond is $5. Obviously when we buy the liner, the tarp, the pump, and the buckets, it'll actually, we're gonna spend some money on that. But as far as the overall structure of the pond, we pretty much paid less than nothing to complete the whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and look through this wood to get some of the best pieces. Alright, so let's go ahead and start. pretty much holding this pallet attached to the whole thing. Like I said, we're gonna do another pallet here. We're gonna do the same thing on that side, and then we're gonna put our end pallet on this side. Let's grab some more wood for this next piece. And this. So we're come back around here. I'm gonna try different techniques. This time I'm gonna go down like this. Might be a lot easier. So basically just like that. All we're pretty much trying to do is make it one big solid piece. So that way they all stick together. And like I said, once we put all the corners together, we also might put like a little brace on the corners to keep the corners in. And then, like we said, we're going to put the liner on top, staple it down on the top part, cut off all the excess, and fill it up. And this is just pretty much our frame of our pond. Like I said, this is a above ground, and you can pretty much put anything in here: koi, red-tailed catfish, gars, tiger shovel nose, arapimas, up to a certain amount. Obviously, eventually, if you had all those fish, you probably have to upgrade your pond. But pretty much when we get them, we're gonna get as much. We're gonna get them small, so nothing more than like 6 inches. Let's see, which one do we want to do next? All right, since we have these screws up to the top, which I'm gonna take out at a later point, I'm just gonna put this one on this back side like this to keep it together, and probably the same thing with the bottom piece like that. Do one more right about here. Right. Then we're going to go ahead and do this last one at the bottom. All right, y'all, as you can see, we're pretty much 90% of the way done. I just have to close up this little gap right here. But other than that, all of this is one solid piece. As I was saying, we have these these right here, which are pretty much bracing, keeping them together. This one I put some on the front part here and here. And we have these on the back right here holding that together. And as you can see, it's a pretty good sized pond. It's gonna be, you can see from this end to that, it's about 10 feet. And then the depth is about, these are about 3 feet, a couple inches over 3 feet. So it's a pretty big enclosure or pond. And like I said, pretty much we're gonna put a tarp down, and then we're gonna put our pond liner, and pretty much our pond liner is gonna go in, it's gonna come up over the edge. We're gonna staple it down and trim off all the excess. And then we're gonna go ahead and fill it up with water, make sure there's no leaks. Right here is where I'm going to put the filtration system. I'm gonna have it off of that wooden beam right here, and it's gonna come out like a little platform, and the other end of the platform is gonna rest right here on this end. But I'm gonna push it back, the pond back some more, so that way it sits perfectly. And in that system right there, we're gonna have like I said, 4 or 5 gallon buckets. They're all gonna be at different heights, so that we're pretty much using gravity to filter the water. But obviously we're gonna have a pump over here in this corner. The tube's gonna come up, go into the first bucket through the top. It's gonna come through a filtration system in one of the buckets. Then there's gonna be a hole at the bottom that's gonna lead into the second bucket, go through another filtration. We're gonna have mechanical and biological filtration, and then it's gonna come back down in the tube, and it's gonna come through somewhere on this end and come back into the pond, which will also create kind of like a flow or a current. So this is pretty much day one. We still have a lot more scrap wood over there, which I'm going to use to close up this gap. So I'm pretty much going to measure it out to see how long it is from here to here, and then from here to here. And we're going to make a little corner, a little L shape. And it's going to be a bunch of pallet planks going up and down. And that way I have a saw. So I'm going to cut them to the precise measurement and close off this little gap right here. And then once this is closed off, the pond, the skeleton of the pond will be complete. And I'm going to show you guys that also in this video. And make sure you guys subscribe and comment down below what other type of fish you guys would like to see us do in this pond. We're going to also have part 2 and part 3. And just drop a like down if you guys would do this at your own house. And like I said, this is a pretty easy way to build a pond. You don't have to dig. You don't have to dig anything. You don't have to, it's not permanent. So if you ever move, if it's not your house, if you're renting, you can tear it back down and rebuild it at your new location. Obviously, like I said, it's just a couple screws that's holding all this together. So you can easily take the screws apart and then stack the pallets back up and take it wherever you're going. You'll obviously have to drain all the water out the pond and take the fish out. And then you can pretty much redo this pretty much anywhere. You can make it bigger or smaller, so it doesn't have to be the size. We could have made it, twice as deep. We could have gone higher up or further out. We could have turned it this way and made it this long and go across this whole wall right here. So I mean, it's pretty much, you can customize it to however you want to do it. If you guys have your own ponds that you guys build, drop a comment down below. If you guys have your own channel that you guys build it on, you could also link that in your comments as well. And like I said, don't forget to subscribe. And at the end of this video, we're also going to have this part done for you as well. So stay tuned.